Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, I have two more great stories to tell you all about today, folks. One involving a yellow-eyed dogman, another, this devil baby that was seen by the witnesses in this very bizarre story, folks. Let's get into the first article. Yellow-eyed upright beast, Bigfoot, dogman, or something far stranger in western Pennsylvania, and read all about what was experienced this one night. On a dark Pennsylvania road in the summer of 2010, a family's quiet drive home turned into a moment of terror when their headlights revealed a towering black figure with glowing yellow eyes. Was this elusive being a dogman, a Bigfoot, or a glimpse of something that defies all known categories? This happened about 6 years ago. I was with my grandmother and my aunt, and we were driving back from Punxsutawney one night around 8 p.m. As we were driving down a hill. The darkness made it difficult to see anything clearly. As we descended the mountain, our headlights illuminated the road, and suddenly a strange, solid black figure crossed in front of us. It took about 2 long strides to cross the 15-foot road. At first, we thought it might just be a shadow, but this figure was at least 7 feet tall, possibly even taller. It moved quickly, and we realized there was no way it could have simply been a shadow. It touched the ground twice and was across the road in an instant. What really stood out were its eyes. They were a dark yellow color, and they seemed to glow. The figure was reminiscent of a half Bigfoot, almost like a hybrid between a Bigfoot and a dog. It was massive and faster than any animal or human I've ever seen. Seeing that thing was genuinely creepy. I never really believed in stories like this before, but after witnessing it, I can't help but have a lot more faith in such encounters. So, what did they encounter, folks? Some sort of possible hybrid between a dogman and a Bigfoot? Some sort of hairy hominid canine-like entity, folks? Or was it just maybe a misidentification? Was it possibly a hunter and maybe some sort of ghillie suit? Maybe even a hoax? We don't know, but certainly a very bizarre story that this witness has here, that L has enlightened us with, folks. Either way, what was this entity? One more time. Was it really a Bigfoot or a dogman? Considering that it looked more canine, it sounds like it was more like a dogman, folks. But the description of the body was more ape-like, so it definitely sounds like it wasn't your typical encounter with either entity. Whatever it was certainly terrifying for the witnesses here, folks. But now, everyone, let's move on to the next article. Devil Baby of Lorica, revisiting Columbia's 2012 panic, claims, evidence, and what we actually know. Let's get into this article of this so-called Devil Baby of Lorica, folks, and hear exactly what happened, because it truly sounds phenomenally interesting, folks. So let's get into it now. A Colombian mother said her 4-week-old walked, hid, laughed like an adult, and made fire, igniting national panic and nightly stone throwing at the family home. A decade later, records and regional reporting reveal the quieter truth behind the headlines, along with the one detail investigators flagged that most stories skipped. This information was sent to Phantoms and Monsters by a reader who was seeking any follow-up information, I would gather, folks. So let's read on. In October 2012, in Lorica on Colombia's Caribbean coast, 28-year-old Ana Ferreira Santos gave birth to her 5th child. What began as routine soon spiraled into horror. She claimed her baby, barely 4 weeks old, could stand, walk, hide in odd places, emit eerie laughter, and even produce fire, sparking accusations that the infant was possession incarnate. So, claiming demon possession here, folks. Now, that's odd, but it could be maybe the mother was unhinged a bit. That could also be the truth of the matter, but we'll discuss that a little more after we read this next part. Neighbors, spooked by burn marks found on his clothes and on a sofa, accused the family of harboring black magic, even throwing stones nightly at their home. Some began calling the infant the devil in disguise. Santos warned of an intimidating gaze in the infant's eyes and said he often sought hiding spots beneath beds, inside suitcases, or in the washing machine. That sort of sounds like basically typical child behavior, but considering that this baby was no more than 4 weeks old, that's truly amazing, isn't it, folks, that a baby could get around like that, if that's indeed the truth, but I kind of doubt it. Now, if indeed the mother is accusing her child of all of this, folks, it could be some sort of post-pregnancy depression, folks. There's a syndrome that mothers have after they give birth to their children, where they can sometimes, be despondent and not really care for their child. And maybe this is something along those lines, but this time she was hallucinating all of this. Maybe because she also had other underlying, mental issues, perhaps. Either way, let's read on. The authorities intervened. Psychologists, social workers, nutritionalists, and legal officials were dispatched to assess whether abuse or delusion might explain the claims. In fact, 2 minor burns were found on his left palm, prompting measures to safeguard the family's environment while investigations continued. Medical professionals and child welfare agencies denied any credible link to supernatural forces, using and urging skepticism of the blackout magic narrative. To this day, little independent verification has surfaced to substantiate the extreme claims, but the story remains a vivid echo of collective fear, folklore, and the lines between belief and physical reality, I would have to say, folks. It reminds me of a story from basically around the turn of the 19th century in Ireland, where this family ended up killing this mother because they thought that due to her mental issues that she was a changeling, and this led to quite the case in the courts. Either way, this sounds similar to that case, folks, but let's continue with this article now. What I found with sources. Place date claims Lorica, Córdoba, Colombia, late October 2012. Mother, Ana Ferreira Santos, alleged the 1-month-old could walk, hide in odd places, bed, suitcase, washing machine, even fridge, laugh like an adult, and produce fire. Seco Menintio. There's also community reaction. Neighbors in the Nueva Estrella sector spoke of a malign spirit. The house was reportedly pelted with stones at night. Seco Mintio. I guess that Seco Mintio might be a newspaper or maybe the source that basically actually gave this information. Either way, continuing, authorities' stance in action. Colombia's ICBF, Family Welfare Institute, National Police and Church did not endorse a supernatural explanation. An interdisciplinary team, psychologist, social worker, nutritionalist, lawyer, intervened. Investigators documented 2 small burns on the baby's left palm and issued protective measures while clarifying facts. This particular information came from the Colombia News. Very interesting, folks, but let's now continue. Press Trace. The case ran across Colombian regional outlets and English language aggregations at the time. Notably, Colombia Reports summarized the official response, and Burns, finding regional sites Sacramento.com or co. Canindo notices captured on the ground, rumor in detail, media roundups referenced in El Meridionero de Córdoba, October 23, 2012. A quote about the baby standing, walking, and cackling, Razón Publica. And there's also a note that goes along with this information too, folks. The bottom line is that there's no official follow-up in accessible archives confirming anything paranormal. The only firm documented anomaly is the 2 burns and the Ensuring Child Protection Action, which points investigators toward possible abuse or misinterpretation, not possession. Indeed, folks. Most likely, the mother abused her child, folks, because maybe it could be a case of post-pregnancy depression. There's a name for it, folks, where a mother doesn't care for her child, or maybe the mother was generally looking for attention and hurt her child to basically get said attention. Maybe. But it is definitely strange to see such behavior from a mother of 5. But then again, it's not unheard of for basically some mothers, maybe because she had mental issues, folks, to hurt their children. Luckily, the child maybe got out of this basically with no more than 2 scars on its hand from the burns. If so, folks, I'm hopeful this baby is living a good life right now, folks, but I can't be for sure. But I can hope. Either way, truly a strange story, folks. And like the first story with this Bigfoot or Dogman-like entity, we have no real clue if any of this or, if even parts of it are true. All we have are the words of the witnesses here. Now, with the Dogman, maybe it could be true, folks, but with this case with the baby, it sounds like it was mass hysteria. But now, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.